Subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon, to never miss a video from us. Hi everyone, welcome to Test Prep Training. In this video you will learn about some commonly asked questions in Microsoft Azure Administrator Associate. So let's get started. Question number 1. You have an Azure subscription that contains an Azure Active Directory tenant named Contaso.com and an Azure Kubernetes service cluster named AKS1. An administrator reports that she is unable to grant access to AKS1 to the users in Contaso.com. You need to ensure that access to AKS1 can be granted to the Contaso.com users. What should you do first? Your options are: A. From Contaso.com, modify the organization relationship settings. B. From Contaso.com, create an OAuth 2.0 authorization endpoint. C. Recreate AKS1. D. From AKS1, create a namespace. The correct answer is option B. Question number 2. You have a Microsoft 365 tenant and an Azure Active Directory tenant named Contaso.com. You plan to grant 3 users named User1, User2, and User3 access to a temporary Microsoft SharePoint document library named Library1. You need to create groups for the users. The solution must ensure that the groups are deleted automatically after 180 days. Which 2 groups should you create? Each correct answer presents a complete solution. Note, each correct selection is worth 1 point. Your options are: A. A Microsoft 365 group that uses the assigned membership type. B. A security group that uses the assigned membership type. C. A Microsoft 365 group that uses the dynamic user membership type. D. A security group that uses the dynamic user membership type. The correct answers are option A and C. And here is the explanation of the answer. Question number 3. You have an Azure Active Directory tenant that contains 5,000 user accounts. You create a new user account named Admin User 1. You need to assign the user administrator administrative role to Admin User 1. What should you do from the user account properties? Your options are: A. From the licenses blade, assign a new license. B. From the directory role blade, modify the directory role. C. From the groups blade, invite the user account to a new group. The correct answer is option B. And here is the explanation of the answer. Question number 4. You have an Azure Active Directory tenant named Contaso.on Microsoft.com that contains 100 user accounts. You purchase 10 Azure AD Premium P2 licenses for the tenant. You need to ensure that 10 users can use all the Azure AD Premium features. What should you do? Your options are: A. From the licenses blade of Azure AD, assign a license. B. From the groups blade of each user, invite the users to a group. C. From the Azure AD domain, add an enterprise application. D. From the directory role blade of each user, modify the directory role. The correct answer is option A. Question number 5. You have an Azure subscription named Subscription 1, and an on-premises deployment of Microsoft System Center Service Manager. Subscription 1 contains a virtual machine named VM1. You need to ensure that an alert is set in Service Manager when the amount of available memory on VM1 is below 10%. What should you do first? Your options are: A. Create an automation runbook. B. Deploy a function app. C. Deploy the IT Service Management connector. D. Create a notification. The correct answer is option C. And here is the explanation of the answer. Question number 6. You sign up for Azure Active Directory Premium. You need to add a user named Admin1 at Contaso.com as an administrator, on all the computers that will be joined to the Azure AD domain. What should you configure in Azure AD? Your options are: A. Device settings from the devices blade. B. Providers from the MFA server blade. C. User settings from the users blade. D. General settings from the groups blade. The correct answer is option A. Question number 7. You have an Azure Active Directory tenant named conosocloud. On microsoft.com. Your company has a public DNS zone for conoso.com. You add conoso.com as a custom domain name to Azure AD. You need to ensure that Azure can verify the domain name. Which type of DNS record should you create? Your options are A. MX, Beansec, CPTR, DRSIG. The correct answer is option A. Question number 8. You have an Azure Directory tenant named Adatum and an Azure subscription named Subscription 1. Adatum contains a group named Developers. Subscription 1 contains a resource group named Dev. You need to provide the developers group with the ability to create Azure Logic apps in the Dev resource group. Solution: on Subscription 1, you assign the Dev Test Labs user role to the developers group. Does this meet the goal? Your options are A. Yes. B. No. The correct answer is option B. Question number 9. You have an Azure subscription named Subscription 1 that contains an Azure Log Analytics workspace named Workspace 1. You need to view the error from a table named Event. Which query should you run in Workspace 1? Your options are. The correct answer is option B. Question number 10. You have an Azure subscription. You have 100 Azure virtual machines. You need to quickly identify underutilized virtual machines that can have their service tier changed to a less expensive offering. Which blade should you use? Your options are A. Monitor, B. Advisor, C. Metrics, D. Customer Insights. The correct answer is option B. For more such videos, subscribe to our channel.